For children's service? We'll come right back.
Jesus
We'll come right
loves the
back.
little children of the world. Come on, guys. Jesus loves the little children. All the children of the world. Ready? Up your legs, yeah, black and white. They are precious in His sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. Okay, guys, everybody over here, you'll have a chance to check out all this other stuff in a little while. I promise you. I promise you. Come on up. Come on up. All right, we're going to be up here. Awesome. Got a Girl Scout out here. Way to go. You're a Girl Scout too. Awesome. Well, this is Scouting Sunday. And so we have enlisted the help of the Scouts to have a really special time this morning for our children's sermon and for our scripture reading. We've been doing a study on the book of Jonah for the past couple of weeks here at St. Paul. And today we're going to wrap it up, and we're especially going to emphasize the last chapter of the book of Jonah, chapter 4, because we haven't read that one yet, okay? Now, that's going to be cool enough, but just to make it even more fun, each of you is going to have a part to play in this. This is not a sit back and watch Pastor Bill do all the work kind of a Sunday. This is a Sunday where everybody gets to take part in reading the Bible passage for today, okay? So, the first group that we're going to talk about is the children. We can put that up on the screen now, Matthew, okay? The kids, you guys, okay, get to be Jonah in the story, huh? Okay, so you guys get to act out everything that Jonah does in the story in the book, okay? And what's more, every time you hear me say the word Jonah, okay, you guys cross your hands and shake your head and go, no way. Okay, because Jonah didn't want to do what God wanted him to do. So you guys, just try that with me. Cross your hands, go like that, and go, no way. Let's hear it. That's it. Try it all together. Jonah, no way. Okay, you guys got it, okay? Good job. Okay, now, Scouts, okay? You guys, every time you hear me say the word ship, okay? Which you'll also see in yellow when we read the script on the screen there, okay? I want you to rock left and right, and I want you to do this, the first two words of the song, Sailing, Sailing. So you're going to go, Sailing, Sailing. You know how the song goes over the road to do. We're not going to do that, just the same. So 1, 2, 3. Sailing, sailing. Okay, good. And leaders, come on, leaders. Get with it back there, okay? I know some of you guys have Dr. syndrome, and you know, it's church, and maybe you've been told you don't move in church. You can move in this church. Okay? It's all right. It's all right. Okay. Now, everybody else on the south side over here, all of you good folks over here, okay? Every time you hear the word God, okay, me read the word God, which you'll find in green whenever I come to that part in the reading, okay? I want you to sing the first word of the Hallelujah chorus, which is, of course, Hallelujah. So it goes like this, it goes, Hallelujah. Got it? Okay, perfect. Okay, Jennifer, you need to help on that, okay? You got it, you got it. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you got all the praise team, all the musicians over here, okay? And everybody on the north side who's not a scout, okay? I want you guys, every time I read the word Nineveh, which you'll find in purple or pink on the screen, okay? You guys are going to say, beep, beep, okay, like your taxi in a busy city, okay, because Nineveh was a really big city. So, 1, 2, 3, Nineveh, beep, beep, beep. Okay, good. Okay, are you ready? Okay. All right, here we go. One day, long ago, God spoke to Jonah. Good job, okay. I need you to go to the big city of Nineveh. There you go. Preach to the people there. They're big sinners, and I can't ignore it any longer. Something needs to change. But Jonah didn't like the people of Nineveh, and so he decided to run away from God by boarding a ship. Good job. All right. Going in the opposite direction from Nineveh. Okay, to the town of Tarshish. Okay, so you guys are going to add that Jonah. So you guys are going to get in the ship. Oh, sorry. Over here. Okay, so jump in the canoe. You guys get to be Jonah. Okay? So squeeze in there. There's room for everybody in there. Okay? We got the sounds here, so now hold it steady for you. Jump on in. Jump on in. Okay. Come on. There you go. We got time. Okay. Some of you can go in the back. There you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Good job. Okay. Okay. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. Everybody in? Awesome. Cool. Okay. Okay, now, God wasn't happy about Jonah running away, and so he sent a huge storm at sea. Giant waves rocked the ship back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Come on, it was a little bigger than that. Come on, okay, there you go. It was a good storm. Okay, okay. The sailors were terrified. Meanwhile, okay, Jonas. Meanwhile, Jonah, what do you do? Right. Meanwhile, Jonah was down below in the hold of the ship, taking a nap. The captain of the ship, okay, found Jonah and woke him up and said, "Pray to your God." Sorry, it was a little God. It was a little G, but it's okay. Okay, maybe your little G God, okay, will see that we're in trouble and rescue us. Then the sailors on the ship drew straws to figure out who was to blame for the storms. Jonah drew the short straw and admitted that he was running away from God. And told them to throw him overboard. The sailors didn't want to, but eventually they tossed Jonah off the ship. Okay, so you guys now are going to go over here. Because you're off the ship. Jonah got tossed off the ship, so there you go. All right. Immediately the sea was quiet. Everybody together says, "Shh." But God sent a huge fish to swallow Jonah off the ship. Okay, so you get to Jonah. Okay, so he said a big fish. So where's the big fish? You see a big fish down here? Oh, look, there's a big fish. Hey, jump in there. Okay, Jonah. There you go. Now, you're in the belly of the fish. Good job. No, you don't have to sit there. It's comfortable. Do you think it was comfortable for the real Jonah in the belly of the fish? No. But you met that 10, so you got it good, okay? You think? Okay. He lived in the belly of the fish for 3 days and for 3 nights. Hey, Jonah. Jonah, play up in there, okay? Finally, are you ready? Jonah. Hey, Jonah. That's it. Somebody paid attention in there. Who knows what's going on? Jonah had enough and turned to God in prayer. At the end of the long prayer, Jonah Okay, get back there. I can take this back over there. Back over there. You're doing great. Back over there where you were. You're out of the way. You're out of the fish. Okay, over there. Finally, it was dark over there, wasn't it? A little hot. There's a window. Okay, come on over there. Come on, Jonas. Okay. So Jonah finally said, okay, I will preach the people of Nineveh. Beep, beep. Okay, oh, we got that already, didn't we? Okay. This time, Jonah went straight to Nineveh. Beep, beep. Okay. Finally obeying God. Hallelujah. When Jonah arrived at Nineveh, he preached God's message, although he wasn't very excited about it. Amazingly, the people listened and made the choice to follow God. Hallelujah. Always. But Jonah was really angry with God. Hallelujah. And yelled at him, saying, God, hallelujah. I knew it when I was back home that this was going to happen. That's why I ran off to Tarshish in that ship. I knew that you were sheer grace and mercy, not easily angered, rich in love, and ready at the drop of a hat to turn your plans for punishment into a program of forgiveness. So, God, hallelujah. If you won't kill them, kill me. I'm better off dead. But God, hallelujah, said, what do you have to be angry about? But Jonah, no, you guys don't. But Jonah, right, went out of the city to the east and sat down in a sulk. That means he was really angry, right? Then God, hallelujah, sent a broad-leafed tree to spring up. Okay, Scouts, there they are. You guys get behind them. Or on the side. That'll work. There you go. Okay, here's a broad-leafed tree coming up over you, Jonas. To give you a little shade from the lamp and the sun, right? There you go. All right. Okay, I've got one more. There we go. Good. You all enjoy the shade now? Kind of nice. You don't have to look up at the glare of the lights, right? Okay, good. Okay. It grew, the tree grew over Jonah to cool him off and to get him out of his angry sulk. Jonah was pleased and he enjoyed the shade. Life was looking up. But then God, hallelujah, sent a worm. And by dawn of the next day, the tree withered away. All right, Scouts, get it away. I know, sorry, guys. Yeah. The sun came up and God, hallelujah, sent a hot, blistering wind from the east. And the sun beat down on Jonah, and he started to faint. Can you guys take the faint, you know? Go, ah! There you go, good. Yeah, it's hot out there, I know. He prayed to die, saying, I'm better off dead. And then God, hallelujah, said to Jonah, what right do you have to get angry about that shade tree? Jonah said, Jonah, plenty of right. It made me angry enough to die. And God, hallelujah, said, what's this? How is it that you can change your feelings from pleasure to anger overnight about a mere shade tree that you did nothing to get? You neither planted nor watered it. It grew up one night and has died the next night. Should I not be concerned about Nineveh, that great city in which there are more than 120,000 persons who do not know right from wrong, and also many animals? The word of the Lord.
Pretty good. Johnston good.
I like questions. I think questions are kind of fun.
I'm gonna
For instance, why is it that people say, heads up, when you really should be ducking, right? They should say heads down, right? But they don't. They say heads up. Or why is it that the Lone Ranger is called lone if his sidekick Tonto is almost always with him? Or how many scouts does it take to go on a proper snipe hunt? Scouts, if you don't know the answer to that, talk to some of the older scouts and they'll clue you in on snipe hunts. I ponder questions like these. I'm weird that way. But I do think that a good question is at least as important as a good answer. Because questions, by their very nature, make us think, don't they?
Not today.
Did you know that there are only 3 books in the Bible that end with a question? They're all in the Old Testament, and all 3 deal with terrible tragedies in the life of God's people. Now, if you think about that, that's not too surprising, is it? Because when is it that we ask deep questions? It's when we're really hurting a lot, when we're suffering the most. That's when we ask the hard questions in the Bible, right? Well, the first question at the end of a book in the Bible is in the book of Lamentations. Now, Lamentations is basically a poem written in response to the destruction of Jerusalem by Babylon in the year 586 BC. The book is divided into 22 different sections, each of them beginning with the one letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So the book of Lamentations is literally the A to Z of grief and sadness and sorrow. It ends with this prayer. Bring us back to you, O Lord. Bring us back. Restore our ancient glory. And then here's the question. Or have you rejected us forever? Is there no limit to your anger? Wow. Talk about ending a book of the Bible with a whimper, right? Have you rejected us forever in your anger? Is there no limit to it? The first book in the Bible that ends with a question reveals the depth of human pain. A pain so great that we feel like God has utterly rejected us. Israel felt a pain like this in the year 722 BC when the Assyrians conquered the 10 northern tribes of Israel and carried them off to captivity in leading cities in their empire, such as their capital, which is Nineveh.
Beep, beep.
Yeah. we won't do it, but thank you, I appreciate it. That great city that Jonah, in our Bible passage, refused to go to. So the first book of the Bible, to end with a question, reveals the depth of human pain. The second book of the Bible, to end with a question, reveals the depth of human anger. The prophet Nahum burned with this anger. His anger was directed at those Assyrians and its capital city of Nineveh. Nahum was really happy because he got to see God's judgment on the city of Nineveh. And so the book ends with these white-hot words and a question. Here it comes. There's no healing for your hurts. He's talking to Assyria here. Your wounds are mortal. All who hear the news about you clap their hands and applaud. And here's the question. For who has ever escaped your endless cruelty? Wow. You might say that Nahum had some anger management issues, don't you think? Right? Who has ever escaped your endless cruelty? And Jonah burned with that same anger. So when Jonah sees that the Ninevites have repented to God, and God has changed his mind and decided to spare the city, Jonah becomes really ticked off with God, doesn't he? Verse 4:1 literally says that Jonah was displeased with a great displeasure, and he burned with anger. And Jonah just goes ballistic, doesn't he? He goes postal in our passage. I told you so, Lord, he says. I knew you were soft on sinners. That's why I wouldn't go to Nineveh in the first place. Don't you know, God, that bad behavior should be punished? Listen, God, If that's the way you're going to be, I would rather die than keep on living. If those stinking Ninevites are in, then you can count me out. And so Jonah storms off in a huff, and he sits down on this plateau. We'll do it over here because that's where our children did it, overlooking the city of Nineveh. And what he's hoping for here is that God, the people are going to stop behaving well, and that God is going to change his mind and just rain down hellfire and brimstone on the city. Jonah just can't let go of his anger. And lots of us have a hard time letting go of our anger too. That's the truth of it. We have a hard time letting go of our anger towards God or other people. I've been spending a lot of time this week visiting Donna Larson and her family. And Donna, for those of you who don't know her, is one of the kindest, gentlest, the most wonderful people you would ever hope to meet. She is on our board of deacons. She's very caring, and she just has a heart of gold. And the family learned a couple weeks ago that she has brain cancer too. And on Friday, the family got the results of the tests that she's been undergoing, and the results were not good. It's very serious. And I'll be honest with you, I've been with a lot of people with cancer, but it still makes me angry. It still makes me angry that there's so much evil in this world. It still makes me angry that bad things happen to good people. And that's okay. It's okay to be angry that way, but it's normal. But maybe it's not so good if we stay stuck in that, all day long. And like Jonah, we just become kind of this seething cesspool of anger, right? That was Jonah. That's not so good. And so, in the middle of chapter 4, God appoints 3 different agents of nature to try to dislodge Jonah, to knock him off center in all of his anger, to get him out of there. First of all, he appoints a bush, which our scouts did with their umbrella so well, right? To bring shade to Jonah. And Jonah was really happy during that time. But then, God appoints a worm to attack the bush and destroy Jonah's shade. Then God sends a sultry east wind and the sun to beat down on the prophet. And Jonah becomes so faint that he asks to die for the second time in the book, by the way. Now, it's object lesson time for Jonah. An object is something you draw a moral from, right? So the argument is from the lesser to the greater. God says, if you, Jonah, were concerned for this plant simply because it provided you shade, shouldn't I have concern for that great city of Nineveh? And that's the third and the final time in the Bible that a book ends with a question. Shouldn't I have concern for that great city of Nineveh? The first question expressed our human pain. The second expressed our human anger. But the third question that a book in the Bible ends with expresses the depth of God's love for all people, not just for those inside of the covenant community, the Jewish people, but also for those outside, bad people like the Ninevites, right? Should I not be concerned for that great city of Nineveh? It's the question of the whole book of Jonah. It's the question for Israel. It's the question for you, and it's the question for me, and it's the question for the church. Many have suggested that Jonah, chapter 4, verse 11, that last verse we've been looking at, that is the Old Testament equivalent to John 3:16 in the New Testament. Probably most of us, or a lot of us at least, have memorized John 3:16. It says, "For God so loved the world." Notice not just Christians, right? Not just Jews, not just good people, not just right thinking, right believing, right living people, but God so loved the world, that text says, that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish, right? But will have eternal life, true life, real living life. God so loved the world. God so loved you. God so loved me. No matter who you are, no matter what you have done in your life, even if you're a Ninevite, or even worse, God loves you. I'm going to close with a movie clip from a movie called Nefarious, A Merchant of Souls. Now, I'm going to trust that you scouts here can be kind of mature with this one, because this is a movie that looks behind the scenes of the sex trade industry, like prostitution and pornography and things like that. We're not going to get into any of that, trust me. But it looks at what, in this clip, we're going to see some former sex workers, people who were caught in that industry, who were abused that way. They're going to discuss their rock bottom and how God brought them out of that. As you're watching this, think about those Ninevites and all the people that our society says aren't acceptable. About 4 minutes.
And so that's when the heavy cocaine abuse came in. And I just wanted to disappear. I remember just lighting that pipe and just looking forward to that hit. All of a sudden I heard my ears just ringing really loud. And like everything went black. Like my eyes just shut down. My eyes were wide open, but went black, and I fell back. And I was having a heart attack. The pain in my chest was like, my heart was going, and it was like, I felt like somebody was stabbing me with a knife in my heart, but I couldn't see anything. And all I could remember was that, there was nothing but blackness around me. And just, I realized, crap, I'm dying. I'm dying. And all I could remember is Jesus. That's all I could think about was God. And I saw my life literally flash before my eyes. And as I called upon his name, I just said, Jesus, I'm alone. I'm sorry, and come and get me. Save me from myself. I'm sorry. And all I could do was like say sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was a prostitute. I was so ashamed. And the ambulance came. They took me in the hospital, and the doctor came over and said, do you know how lucky you are? You have a lot of drugs in your system, lady, and you're allergic to narcotics. And he's like, God's with you. And I knew that Jesus heard my prayer.
I was in such despair and desperation. I would really cry out to God, And then one night, he appeared to me in a dream. I would go into this beautiful garden, and sat on the bench was the Lord Jesus. And I would go to him, we would sit, and we would just talk about, I don't even know what we spoke about, but he never, ever once condemned me.
I said, Jesus, I just want to see you. I want to know what you look like. I don't care about the movies I've seen. I just want to see you. I want to talk to you, I want to see you. And so he granted my request. I had a dream of him one night, and he came to me, and he didn't look anything like any picture, any person I've ever seen before. He was the most handsome man I've ever seen, beautiful. And he came to me and went this close to my face and looked into my eyes and read me from a baby until my perfect age that I was, everything I've done. Didn't say a word to me, and looked at me with love in his eyes like, I love you.
It was such beauty and such love that emanated from him. I fell at his feet. I was like a dead person. And believe me, at that particular point in my life, I wasn't scared of much, but I was, and it wasn't like a fear he's gonna hit me. It was like who he was, who he really is. And I fell at his feet, and I just cried, and I said, Lord, I'm so sorry for what I've done. And when I got up, he'd say, Helena, I'm waiting for you. And it was so beautiful, so gentle, so gentle. And that went on for about 6 months. I was always waiting for him to say a harsh word or condemn me, but he didn't.
He said, I love you. You're healed, you're whole, you're delivered. And just like this fire was lit in me. And I just started to weep. And I just realized, God loves me. No matter what I've done, no matter all the mistakes I've made, no matter how many people I've hurt, he still loves me. And he can make something of my life.
God is sheer grace and mercy, according to Jonah. Not easily angered, rich in love, and ready at the drop of a hat to turn from a program of punishment to a program of forgiveness. That's what the women, I think, in that video experienced. And all of us here, I want to make sure everybody here knows that. Some of us, like those women, may be deeply ashamed of who we are, what we've done in our life. We may feel like we're mess-ups and screw-ups. But God still loves you, no matter what. And God can still do something in your life. At the same time, we all also need to know that God wants you and me and this church and all churches to reach out to other people in love. That's what missions is. That's what evangelism is in the church. Should I not be concerned about Nineveh, that great city? God could just as easily say to us, should I not be concerned about Johnston, Iowa, that great city? Should I not be concerned about Johannesburg, South Africa, that great city? Should I not be concerned about Jakarta, Indonesia, that great city? Should I not be concerned about every other city in the world and every other person on planet Earth? Well, the resounding answer of the book of Jonah is yes. Thanks be to God. God is concerned about every city and every person on this world. Are you? Am I? Let's pray. Lord, we confess that we really like hanging out with people who are like us, and that a lot of times when people are different from us, we kind of go on a rant against them, and we develop prejudices, and we develop hatreds, and we nurture grudges. And we're asking today that you would forgive us, because we have seen today that you care for every single person on this planet, no matter what their background, no matter what their skin color, no matter what they have done, whether they're from Nineveh or New York, it doesn't matter to you. You love every one of us equally. Help us to share that love and help us to experience that love. Perhaps some of us, like the women in the video, just need to hear that really simple message. That God loves us and isn't done with us and wants to make something beautiful of our lives. If that's the case, then Lord, we just open our hearts to you. We invite you in to be our Lord and our Savior. We invite you in to dwell with us and to share that sheer grace and mercy